in 1971 for the protection of local wildlife, and over the years, animals have become used to us bringing tour groups in. They get closer than normal sometimes, so we get some good photos, but it can make them vulnerable to poachers and illegal hunters. So we have a Warden Patrol out here constantly with us. I'll try and get in touch with the Warden Patrol once we head on in. They might be on this side of the reserve this time of the day. If they're not, they might be on the other side, down below the tree line. It might take a while to get a message through, but we'll give it a try. Airborne Patrol, Simba 1 calling. Do you read me today? Over. Hey, John Mo Wilson, we just entered Little Aturi Forest to start a 2-week trip.
From Jambu, Simba 1. Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
All right, thanks, Wilson. Look carefully to the right. You're seeing some okapi between the bamboo trees and a yellowback doinker. Can't miss the yellowback on that one. Yellowback doinker is getting the name from the Afrikaans word diver, meaning yellowback diver. Get the name from the habit of diving through bushes to get away from predators. The okapi, we saw the zebra-like striping on the legs in the hind quarter, but they are not a member of the zebra family. Keep watching. They're coming out past the trees up there. They're actually a member of the giraffe family. And they're usually really shy, only discovered by the Western world in 1901. Yellow-billed stork up to the left by the big fallen trees up there. Yellow-billed storks eating pretty much anything they find out here. Snakes, frogs, fish, even other smaller birds too. Pretty much anything just smaller than they are. Large watering hole coming up down to the left here. Now watering holes, of course, are very important to the life cycles of the animals, and sometimes we spot black rhinos around this one, maybe today. Don't see any black rhinos just yet. We're going to keep watching all through the hills here. Black rhinos, they are kind of a rare sight. They've been hit very hard by poaching. Less than 5,000 left in Africa now. 1-inch thick skin on a black rhino. Very tough. Can repel any carnivore known except man. Man is actually considered to be their greatest enemy out here. Up to the left here, see if you notice the greater kudu up on the hillside in there, light brown striped antelopes. Second largest antelopes in Africa, a little bit smaller than a Patterson's eland. Full-grown male can weigh about 750 pounds. Saddle-billed stork way above the hill. The black and white birds toward the tree line. They're the tallest storks in Africa. When those are fully grown, they'll stand 5 feet tall. And they get the name from the yellow and orange mark they have on their bill that basically looks just like a saddle. I'll tell you what, we're going to head away from Little Aturi Forest. I think we'll go see what's happening down towards Sapi River today. Sapi River is sometimes a good place for spotting Nile hippopotamus. Watch the river up ahead of us to the right here. See the big fallen tree? Looks like there's some hippo just below the surface there. We're going to check the left side of the river here, too. Oh, yeah, there they go. They're swimming downstream. Hang on, we can catch up down there, too. Now, a few things about hippos. They're going to spend their time mostly in the water, or their bodies will overheat very quick. A newborn hippo weighs around 85 pounds. A full-grown male about 5,000 pounds. Here we go. Watch between the islands here. Pigback pelicans here, too. Large pelicans nesting on the island. Whole flock. Able to gather fish into shallow water, so they feed at the same time. There's those hippos. Now, as you watch hippos, you might see them moving underwater. People have a tendency to think hippos swim underwater. They do swim, but it's not the way you know it. It's kind of like walking or gliding across the river bottom. A full-grown hippo holds its breath underwater somewhere close to 8 minutes at a time. This is an old bridge. Got to take this one easy. Make sure you stay seated and cross those fingers. You're going to watch that bridge, but check that shoreline. Nile crocodiles are watching us. And they're a lot larger. They are much more aggressive than their American cousin, the alligators. Some of them grow up to 20 feet in length. Again, please remember to stay seated back there for us at all times. We're not going swimming in there today. Nile crocodiles, very powerful jaws. They have the ability to crush and pulverize an animal's bone in those jaws in just one single bite.
Simba 1, come in.
Yeah, Simba 1, go ahead, Wilson.
Just wanted to let you know that my ground patrol has seen a lot of elephant activity near the Red Clay Pit. You definitely want to around that area.
All right, well, so thanks for the heads up. We'll head out to the clay pits as soon as we can. Now, we just left one ecosystem. We're going to start into a different one, but check out the large tree to the right. That is a baobab tree. You're going to see that's a common sight on the plains of Africa. Baobab trees only get leaves around 3 months out of the year. Rest of the year, they look just like that, and the reason they swell up to the large size, the trunks hold water. Elephants puncture those open with their tusks in the event that they need fresh drinking water. Now, one of my favorite views out here, the savanna down below. The savanna, part of the vast Serengeti grassland system. Serengeti grassland system stretching on for hundreds of miles across Africa. It acts like a migratory superhighway for animals like zebra and wildebeest. Antelope, lion, elephant, they're living here all year round, all apart. The wild Africa working hard to save. Look out across, our first glimpse of some Ankole cattle. Check out those horns. It looks like the Thompson's gazelle over there, too. We're going to circle all the way over that side. We'll come up as close as we can. Now, of course, we haven't really been down here on this savanna for very long, but start to look all around. See if you start to notice the tall cones of earth. Good grouping straight ahead of us into the meadow, and you'll see they're all around the trail, really, too. A lot of people think they're rocks. They're not rocks. Those are termite mounds. Now, termite mounds are actually hard as concrete. The one that's down the trail off to the left there, at that size, an elephant could use it like a scratching post. Now, when they break that and they wear it down to what's basically over toward the right in the middle of the field there, that's when antelope and gazelle are able to use it as a lookout point to watch for lions or other predators that are hiding in very, very tall grass. Speaking of hiding by the tall grass, can you see the waterbuck straight across to the right, the grayish-colored antelope? He's all by himself toward the middle of the field there. Waterbucks are what are known as crepuscular. It's a very fancy way of saying they're very active, mostly at dusk and at dawn. Males have horns, females do not, so that's a young male you see there. But if you want to talk about horns, let's go talk about the horns on the Ankole cattle up here. Horns on Ankole cattle, they're going to grow about 5 or 6 feet in length apiece, with a circumference at the base of about 22 inches. Now, are these horns heavy? The answer is no, they are not. They are honeycombed inside. What the cattle do when they get hot, they pump their blood up into the horns, they cool it off, and then they pump it back down to their body. Works pretty much like a car radiator. The Thompson's gazelle just behind over here. The small tan, black, and white striped gazelle. We call them Tommies for short out here. And what you're actually looking at are all full-grown adult Thompson's gazelle. This is as big as they're going to get, only about 60 pounds maximum. When they're born, they're actually so tiny they fit in the palm of your hand. Very wide offset eyes. Now the Thompson's gazelle, good peripheral vision, able to scan the savanna for any possible predators. But scan up ahead of us here. See if you start to get a little bit better look at these giraffes here. Giraffes, of course, are the tallest mammals. Babies are going to stand about 6 feet tall. Adults are going to grow about 20 feet high. Start to notice the patterns on the coat. Going to help hide giraffes in the tree lines. They're not always easy to spot. That's a reticulated giraffe off to the right there, taking the name from the Latin word reticulata, which means net. It makes reference to the net pattern on the coat itself. Now, the ones a little bit further out to the distance there, those are known as Maasai giraffe. They're a little bit darker in color than your average giraffe, and they kind of have like an oak leaf pattern to the coat, but nonetheless effective in helping them blend into tree lines. Speaking of blending into trees, take a look over to the left here in the small trees, and you'll see some white-bearded wildebeest resting in the shade in there. Now, the white-bearded wildebeest, more commonly known as the newt, the African word that's used to describe the grunting sound they make. About 1.5 million white-bearded wildebeest actually roam through the grasslands of eastern Africa, the largest migrating herd of animal that's left on the planet today.
Did you get one of the giraffes?
That's Thompson's gazelle again off to the right with those Maasai giraffe. I see another reticulated giraffe coming up to the right here too. Watch to the center of the hill. And again, there's an example of that net-like pattern helping them hide to the tree lines. Now, the conditions you see all through this savanna, they've all been created by wildlife living out here. Elephants are the bulldozers. They knock down trees to eat them. That allows grasses to spread. Giraffe, they're like pruning shear. They eat the leaves from the undersides of trees, and that lets sunlight pass through. Now, zebra and large antelopes eat tall grass. That lets new shoots grow. Very small nibblers like warthog or Thompson's gazelle, they're the ones trimming up the edges. So in a balanced, natural system, just enough food for everybody out here. deep back through the trees. That's how that net-like pattern helps them hide right in.
This is Wilson. What is your location? Over.
I was going to head toward Monkey Point. Wilson, what's up?
Keep your eyes open for me. We picked up a baby elephant that was wandering off on its own. We can't find the mother. I'm afraid poachers may be in the reserve.
Okay, Wilson, we're keeping our eyes open out here. In fact, spotted an elephant up ahead of us here, just on the edge of elephant country. Let's see if we can come around and get a little bit closer. Monkey Point is off to the left here, too. Now, sometimes you do see mandrills on the rocks and through the trees out here. Mandrills, largest monkeys in Africa. Full-grown male going to weigh in at about 100 pounds. Look in the middle. Way toward the middle. It looks like we're getting closer. That elephant there, going deeper into elephant country. Hopefully, able to catch up to the rest of the herd. Now, the red clay pits that Wilson's been telling us about are actually way up to the right out there. Now, he said he saw elephants crossing up that way. We can go up that way, too. We'll see if we can follow along. I was going to try and get us something on the radio. Sometimes you pick up a few radio stations coming around the back end of the reserve. Watch the meadow here. I'm thinking what happened is, of course, Wilson probably saw some of the herd, but they crossed over to the other side of the red clay pits by now. There are large watering holes over that way, so we'll start heading over that way too. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up to some more. Now, currently, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve involved in a scientific study with the elephants that are out here, and vocalization and communication. Their theory is if you learn how elephants communicate, maybe understand a bit, might be better able to help out their needs out here.